Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Plenty of sunshine, but not enough warmth. A lot of us are going to 32 and below tonight. Find out if your backyard is included. Hank?
Big crowds, big concerts planned for this summer, but how is all that going to shake out during the pandemic? I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. We have important information for you before you buy coming up.
But we begin with Michigan's all-important vaccination rate that's now directly tied to reopening the state. Today, 50% of Michiganders have had at least one vaccine dose, and that's up 0.4% from yesterday. And there's a possibility that number could be higher sooner rather than later if those already vaccinated tell the state that they are here.
This is an interesting wrinkle. They are the snowbirds, many of whom got the vaccine down south, and Michiganders who may have crossed the state border to get shots elsewhere in the early phases. Rod Maloney joins us live. Rod, with reopening now tied to these vaccine rates, the critical part is making sure everyone gets counted.
That's right, and there are people out there who should be counted, and in fact the snowbirds may be the secret weapon. But the thing is, they are going to have to take the initiative to make sure the state knows they're here. Rod Vassold of Livonia and his wife Karen came home a couple of weeks ago after spending the winter south of Sarasota on the beach with some close friends. They brought with them a little unexpected hope.
We registered with the county we were in and 3 other counties around us because everybody was trying to register. And as time went on, they registered at Publix and CVS and Walmart as vaccines became available.
Now, fully vaccinated along with their friends, they weren't expecting to see Michigan's reopening tied to vaccination rates. And then it occurred to Rod.
But if you're going to count people that are vaccinated in Michigan, or that have been fully vaccinated that are Michigan residents, you better count the snowbirds.
And so it turns out the state's ready to do just that. The State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services provided this guidance for all the vaccinated snowbirds watching now, saying in a statement, quote, if a healthcare provider adds their immunization data to MCIR, that's the Michigan Care Improvement Registry, which is the system for recording vaccine information, it will be added to the doses administered in our dashboard. This would require the individual who was vaccinated out of state to take their immunization record card to their health care provider, and the provider would be able to add it to the MCIR, end quote.
I'm going anyway, but yeah, I will. And I would, and my wife has already been before this, so we'll take her card and go somewhere and get it. Maybe I'll take it with me, and get it counted.
Well, and that's the thing, and a lot of people did go to Ohio, and so the encouragement here is that Rod is saying, look, go and make sure the state knows you're here, whether you went over the border or whether you're a snowbird, go and show your card. That's a number, that's a notch in the right direction to getting Michigan reopened. Back to you.
Rod, does anybody have a guess then about how many people we might be talking about?
You know what, Devin, I talk about working the phones. Census, AARP, Secretary of State, the governor's office. Nobody knows how many snowbirds we have here in the state. But I'll tell you this, I'll bet you know some. I know a lot of them. It probably gets us into the thousands, and that will make a difference, get us up to 55 or even 60%.
Certainly, we would expect. We'll move the needle considerably. All right, Rod.
Michigan has its first case of another new COVID variant. The variant from India was found in a person in Clinton County. It has 2 mutations, and it is believed to spread more easily. This afternoon, the U.S. announced it is restricting travel from India starting Tuesday with the rise of variants and overall case surge in the country. The Indian variant is the 4th variant found in Michigan, with the UK variant the most dominant.
Let's take a look at today's coronavirus numbers. They have continued to level off for this entire week. 3,440 new cases over the past 24 hours. For reference, think about 2 weeks ago. State reporting 8,900 new cases per 24 hours. State also reporting, though, 36 more deaths over the past day.
Now take a look at the vaccine, and there are plenty to go around. 9.2 million doses have been delivered here to Michigan. 6.9 million shots have gone into arms. Also starting next week, Ford Field is going to start accepting appointments for the single-dose J&J vaccine.
Well, stop what you're doing. Take a quick look outside because it really did turn out to be a fantastic Friday.
Yeah, really nice. Let's get over to Ben for a look at what we can expect heading into tonight. Ben?
Not this. We can pretty much guarantee that. For one, it's going to be dark, but for second, it's going to be our coldest point of the forecast tonight, and so don't let that sunshine fool you. Temperatures outside are still below average, in fact, well below average, and you've got that west-northwest wind on top of it that's still blowing at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Still seeing some gusts that are 30 plus out there. Those winds subside tonight. We keep the clear skies, and of course the air is really dry, and that's what we end up with tomorrow morning. A metro zone low temperature of 35, but that's going to be one of our warmer numbers. There's a lot of spots that are going to 32 or below, and of course we'll check that out in your 4-zone forecast coming up. But look how quickly temperatures rebound. More than a 30-degree swing between low and high tomorrow, and we get even warmer on Sunday, 77 degrees. We do have rain chances both days. They're a little bit better on Sunday, so we'll time that out and show you who's going to freezing tonight in the 4-zone forecast coming up, guys.
Okay, Ben, thank you. New at 5, Governor Whitmer shoots down proposed changes to the Detroit City Charter. In a letter to the commission, the governor says the document conflicts with state and federal laws. City officials and the commission have feuded over how much the proposed changes would cost and if they would lead Detroit to a second bankruptcy.
We're getting our first look at the police dash cam video of a high-speed chase involving a stolen car that ended with an innocent driver killed in Sterling Heights.
The crash happened at Van Dyke and 15 Mile in Sterling Heights. Grant Herms is live tonight right where that crash happened. And Grant, a witness said it sounded like a bomb went off.
Well, and certainly some of this looked like a bomb went off. You can see here behind me with the damage that's left behind from the crash of one of 4 stolen vehicles. The thieves and the chase caught on camera.
New video from inside a dealership in Washington Township showing 4 people stealing 4 cars right from the garage. The cars back up inside before one of the drivers gets out to open the door, and then they leave one by one and take off in different directions. Dashcam video picks up the driver of the red Jeep running every red light and topping speeds of 100 miles an hour. The officer gives chase but loses him on the highway. Seconds later, the Jeep is just a blur to another officer who takes off after it.
Like a bomb. You know, it was terrible. I didn't even realize until I started looking at it, there was 3 cars that were all, something else.
That red Jeep eventually crashing at the corner of 15 Mile and Van Dyke in Sterling Heights, hitting 2 cars and killing a 20-year-old woman. The driver of the Jeep, a 17-year-old from Detroit, was taken to the hospital. His passenger had fled the scene before police arrived.
100 miles an hour, it's a missile going down the road. It's completely unnecessary. You know, all for what? A stolen vehicle? What a waste.
2 other stolen cars were also seen. The white Dodge Charger seen speeding in Warren on 696 until police stopped their chase at I-94. The other car, the green Challenger, was later found abandoned along Highway 53 just south of 23 Mile.
Now, 3 other drivers and that passenger from that red Jeep are still missing, and police are asking for any help in finding them. So anybody with information is asked to call the Macomb County Sheriff's Office or police, Devin, right away. Back to you.
All right, Grant. President Biden wrapping up a rather big week for him with a trip to Philadelphia and this emphasis on infrastructure, including rail travel, as he commemorates Amtrak's 50th anniversary. Let's go to Washington. Alice Barr has the latest. Good evening, Alice.
Good evening. President Biden pitching an expanded passenger rail system as a key part of his sweeping infrastructure plans, even as Congress begins to shift toward the potential for a smaller compromise deal. President Biden hitting the road in Philadelphia today and riding the rails to push his infrastructure and jobs plan while celebrating the 50th anniversary of Amtrak.
We have a huge opportunity here to provide fast, safe, reliable, clean transportation in this country.
The president earned the nickname Amtrak Joe, commuting between Washington and Delaware for decades. He wants $80 billion in passenger rail upgrades under his infrastructure bill. That, paired with his American Family Social Spending Plan, adds up to roughly $4 trillion. Republicans unhappy the president wants the wealthy and big business to foot the bill.
I think it's going to land on working families, will drive jobs overseas, and look, that's the last thing we need right now.
GOP lawmakers pitching an alternative strictly targeted to roads, bridges, water, and broadband internet. Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito raising hopes for a bipartisan deal after talks with President Biden. In an exclusive interview on the Today Show, the president making the case to go big.
There's certain things only the government can do. Is the private sector going to go out and build billions of dollars worth of highways, ports, airports, bridges? Are they going to do that?
President Biden arguing for hefty federal investments to get the country back on track. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is hoping to pass some form of infrastructure legislation before the July 4th recess. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, much more to come here on a Friday. Here's Priya.
He was sentenced to 21 years and only served 8.
It takes a lot of judicial courage to do what Judge Edmonds did.
Tonight, why a judge decided to release Bobby Ferguson.
Also, new information into what set off the stampede. New tonight, 45 people killed as a religious celebration in Israel turns to chaos. Hank?
Justin Bieber, Billy Joel, some big names coming to Metro Detroit, but what can we expect from the concert season during the pandemic? I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. Coming up tonight.